Friends, welcome to your own YouTube channel, Achievers and Data Engineering. My name is Gyanendra, and this is part 4 of Azure Data Learning Series. If you're following along this video tutorial series, then in our previous video, we discussed about how to provision Azure Data Factory. So in this video, we are going to talk about creating the first pipeline on Azure Data Factory. So as you can see here, we are going to create the first pipeline on Azure Data Factory, and what we are going to do here is we will transfer a data set from Azure Blob storage to Azure SQL database using Azure Data Factory pipeline. All right, so without wasting further time, let's get started. Sorry for that. Uh, Let me directly take you to the Azure portal. Now, as I said, in last video, we discussed about creating and provisioning Azure Data Factory. And just to save some time here, I have already created a storage account from where we will store our source file that we want to transfer. So as of now, you can see here there is no container. So let me go ahead and create a container. I'll name it as source folder. Okay, just to make it clear. And in this source folder, I'll go ahead and create a sample file. So let's click on upload and browse for a file. So I have this CSV file named as test data. So select that and click on upload. Okay, so it's done. Now you can see here we have got a test data.csv file, and let's take a look on the data. Okay, so you can see here I have roughly 12 rows, and let's not worry about the data or the data types as of now, just to because we are going to do is this for demo. And let me duplicate this tab, or let me close this first. Go to Home and open Azure Data Factory. Open this in Azure tab. All right, and similarly, let's me go to back home tab again and open Azure SQL database that I have created. So you can see here it's a server name, and within this server I have a database. So let me go to the query editor. Okay, so in order to go on the query editor, I need to log in here. So we have set up these credentials while provisioning the Azure SQL database. So let me enter the credentials. Okay, click as login. Okay, so now we are into the Azure database that we have created, and let's see if we have any existing table over here. So we already have got one table. So let me drop that table as of now because we are going to start from fresh so that we get clarity what we are doing. Fail to execute query. Really? Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention table. So run and query succeeded. So if I refresh here, there is no tables now. All right. So let me drop that and let me duplicate this tab and this first one I'll go on home and go to the storage account, go to the containers and source folder and open the file. So I will go ahead and copy these columns so that we can create a table in SQL database just to have a table created. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and click on create table. I'll name table as test table and all right. So let's not worry about the data types as of now because we are going to this for demo purpose only. So I'll go ahead and give it a varchar 100 for each column. So for data value varchar 100, similarly for suppressed varchar 100, for status again, and units and magnitude, let me give it as integer. Okay, run this. Okay, so we have created this table. Let me go ahead and click on run, select a star from dbo dot test tbl, run. Okay, so you can see here we have created this table. It don't have any data. It just has got, these column names. So now we'll go back to our Azure Data Factory. So again, before going to the data factory, let me make it clear again. We have got this test data CSV file in our Azure blob storage, and we want to transfer that data into a SQL database that we have created and the table that we have just created, which is nothing but test TBL. Okay, so now in Azure Data Factory, we will start with creating linked services. All right, so uh, click on new. So first we will create a linked service for blob storage, which is nothing but our source. So click on blob, continue. I'll name it, just add source over here. Select the subscription, storage account, test connection. Okay, looks good. Create. Okay, now we'll create one more linked service which is for SQL database. And let me add destination over here just to make it clear. I have free subscription. Then this is the server name, database, SQL authentication. So I'll enter the credentials, SQL admin, and the password. All right, and let's test connection. Okay, great, worked. So go ahead and click on create. Now, if you're following along with this tutorial series, then you must know that in order to create a pipeline, we need linked services and we need data sets. So for example, we have like we are migrating from that CSV blob storage to Azure SQL. So we will need two linked services and we would need two data sets. So if I go ahead and click on create pipeline, then you can like see here, let's give it a name as my, like, let's keep it as pipeline one. And if I click on copy and data activity, then you can see here it's asking for source and sync. So source is nothing but the source folder where we have got data, and a destination, like sync, is nothing but the destination. So now it is asking for data set. So we can either click new here and create data set, or we can click this sign and click on create a data set. So we can go with either option. So first we will create data set for our source. So here it is asking for format. So the file that we have, it is in like CSV format. So we'll select that. We'll name it as again source, just to make it clear. Definitely we should follow some naming convention, but because we are showing some demo here, so I'm giving just some random names here. Now it is asking for select a path, right? So either we can manually provide it a path, or we can click on this browse button, select the source folder and select the file. So you can see here now we have got a fully qualified path along with the like schema from that connection. So schema is nothing but the entire fully qualified path along with the metadata. Now, because we have only one folder, it's showing that folder name. If we would have any, subfolders like a folder within folder, then it would have mentioned its name over here, right? So just click on OK. And over here we can see here, it says that the file that we have is a comma delimited, and we can preview the data at this point of time, right? And also we can see here that we have in our first column, we have headers, right? So we need to mention that over here. So first row as header. Now if we will preview data, instead of that P1, P2, we will get header names on the top, right? All right, fair enough. So we'll go ahead and create one more data set, which is for destination and which is for SQL database. Click on create. I'll name it as destination. Select the linked services which we created for Azure SQL, and it will try to fetch the all available data. So because we have only one, it has identified that. Click OK. Test connection. And if we preview data at this point of time, we have nothing but only headers, right? So now we have got all things. We have got two data sets. We have got one pipeline. So we need to yet, fix this and apply these information to the pipeline in order to execute. Now, one thing that you must notice here, we have created like five different things, but it is asking to publish only three because it is asking to publish a pipeline and two data sets that we have created. So whenever we create linked services, those are published by default within Azure Data Factory, and there is no manual publishing needs to be done for them. When we create data sets or pipeline, then we need to publish them in order to save that on Azure Data Factory. Hope it makes sense. Now I'll go ahead and select this copy data activity. Go to the source tab. Source is nothing but the source, our CSV file. So we'll go ahead and select that. All right. So let's leave that information as it is as of now. Go to the sink, select the destination, which is nothing but our Azure SQL table. Now let's go to the mapping. Now mapping is nothing but which column is going to be mapped with which column. So which column from CSV file will be mapped to which column in the table, right? So it has already got mappings, which is pretty like correct. If you don't see while trying, if you don't see the mapping is correct, maybe you can reset it or maybe you can manually add that mapping. Okay, so let's click on settings. So there is nothing needs to be done as of now. We will talk about these options going forward. But as of now, let's take a look on creating this simple activity. So now, first, let's validate whether we have got all things correct or not. Okay, so this it says no errors found. All right, good. Now, what we can do here, we can go ahead and publish them and then run, or we can directly go ahead and click on debug to test whether it is working or not for us. So let me click on debug in order to run. And let's wait. Okay. So now you can see here it's queued in the pipeline. Okay. And whenever we like start running a pipeline, it creates a run ID. This run ID is unique on the pipeline level, and based on this pipeline run ID, we will be able to, fetch couple of details related to that pipeline. Okay, so it got ran successfully. Let me go to Azure SQL database and let me select like run this, select a star from test TBL. Okay, great. So you can see we have got the data, right? So apart from that, we can also look at couple of details. If we click on this details icon over here, now you can see that it transferred data from Azure Blob storage to Azure SQL database. It shows the reason, like in which area this service was provisioned, how much data it read, and how much was written, right? And similarly, the copy duration, how much time it took to copy that. Throughput is nothing but the data transfer rate, which is 87.04 bits per second. Also, we can see a couple of details over here. So these will be useful going forward when we are working on some optimization part, but as of now, it's just good to know from where we can see these details. All right, so hope you have got some idea how to create and set up your first pipeline and how does it work. So if you have any questions, please do let me know in the comments. And thank you for your time and thank you for watching. Have a great day. Keep learning.